welcome back to the festivities here at Orilium. I didn't necessarily expect us to celebrate Lightfall every year, but the Moonies have spoken. We're gonna at least try to do this every year. So welcome back, and I hope that you are excited to visit the Old Favour Pass once again. In a very magical way, of course, the Old Favour Pass is ever-changing, which means that the map that we had from last year is all of a sudden a little bit outdated. So I'm very excited to let you know that we have a new shop that has sprouted that could be of interest to some of you. So grab yourself a hot drink of your choice. It is a must. So do pause this. Grab yourself something to snack on, something to drink. Me as Dovanti is obviously very much in a cozy mood already, but I hope that you cozy up and let's talk about what we're gonna do this time around for a little shopping adventure. If you're new to the Magical Readathon, it is a fantasy game that we all gather and play together to encourage each other to read as much as we want to and can, and just kind of a little bit mix it up so we don't get too bored. And why not? Genuinely, just why not? I will link the video that you should start with down below if you want to join us. You can join at any point. You can join right here if you want to. Everyone is absolutely welcome. And Lightfall is the cold season festivity that we have at Orilium, or in Eldia in general. We have celebrated it once last year, and I will link that video down below as well if you want to familiarize yourself with that, because I do go a little bit more about what each shop is. The main change this year is that there's only one prompt per shop instead of 3, and there are no genre allocations this time around either. However, similarly to last year, this is a very relaxed readathon. It lasts a week and 2 weekends, so specifically this year it begins on the 9th of on the 9th of December and finishes at the end of the 17th. And during that time you can read as little or as much as you want. So as I said, this map is slightly outdated, and I will show you on the screen because it's just much easier to see our new one. The newest addition to our Old Favour Pass is the Owlcat Craft Cafe, and I will tell you a little bit about it in a moment. There are 7 shops available, 6 reading prompts, because one is a non-reading prompt, similarly I think to the last time as well. You can pick the shops that you want to visit depending on your character personality, or you can use random number generator if you want to leave it up to chance. Up to you. It is getting dark. Fantastic. Fantastic. If you are an overachiever, which I know some of you absolutely fulfill that category, you can come back to the shop again, and you simply will just use the same prompt if you want to do it more than once. We do have a hopefully fun addition to the Old Favour Pass. Of course it is at its core a shopping center, and they want to make sure that the mages, come back for more. So, the loyalty cards you get at various cafe shops and I think it is mainly cafe shops. It's the same type of principle, but we have the Old Favour Pass port. Get it? And that is basically you collect the stamps every time you visit a shop. So every time you fulfill the reading prompt and every time you complete your visit to a shop, you can tick off or doodle something in there to collect yourself a stamp. I want to highlight that this is absolutely not meant to be this year. The whole point is that you are continuously working on this and coming back every year. So even if you read just one book, you can just continuously come back and next year tick another. That being said, I'm sure some of you might still want to do that, and it's still totally your prerogative. But I just really want to highlight this is not made to be, finished this time around and this year, not at all. In fact, quite the opposite is meant so you have this card next year to come back to. Once you hit your 10th visit, not only do you get a complimentary coffee cup at the Craft Cafe, but you also gain 100 guild reputation points towards your own tracker. So I hope you will enjoy this edition, and because it is very, very rapidly getting dark, I am going to move on now to our shops and our prompts for Lightfall 2023. So there are perhaps a couple of new prompts, but also a lot of them you will recognize from the previous rounds, and I tried to pick ones that historically were quite beloved, and people told me that, oh, I really like that prompt, that's quite fun. So in absolutely no particular order, just the order that I wrote them down, we have Old Tales Bookstore. The owner has informed us that the scholarly implinks were added again, and there have been some very coveted tomes that have gone missing throughout the year, because as you may remember, the scholarly implinks are very prone to some less desirable means of acquiring books. The bookstore keeper has managed to interrupt a couple. Unfortunately, he has not been able to locate all of the tomes that were dropped in the pursuit, so they're asking for your help. And in return, you get a tome that you were coveting the whole year, and you don't have to pay for it. So the prompt is to read a book you really wanted to read the whole year round. Maybe you just kept putting it on your TBR and it just kept slipping by and you just never got to it, but it's a specific book that you really, you know that you wanted to read, but you just never got to it. Well, this is your chance to put it finally in there and actually get it read. Wallace's wonderful winter animals. To keep the guests entertained, they highlight and acquire a different winter animal every year, you know, just to keep it fresh. And this time around in town, we have the winged winter stoat. The winged winter stoat is a unique little creature that loves to adopt people. They will simply imprint on folk no matter if they want them to or not, and secretly slip into the wizard's robes only to be discovered when it's already quite too late. Will then bully you into feeding them, caring for them, spoiling them rotten, and overall just kind of terraform your own personal space into theirs. But they are very cute, and so they kind of get away with it. And despite their pretty annoying personalities, they are actually quite beloved in general society. But fear not, there are charms around the exhibit to prevent this from happening, because Orilium students especially, and staff, are just very, very not fit for this as a pet. Partially due to lifestyle and also partially due to the fact that the winged winter stoats are extremely possessive and they will not share their spotlight with any other creatures that act like familiars or are familiars, and that includes implings, which most of us probably do have and want them to stay alive. But if you do want to go to the exhibit and safely observe and pet and interact with some winter stoats, your prompt is to read a book with snow or ice on the cover. For our more mischievous characters, they of course will likely stop by the Shawl and Shank and Shawl legitimate retailer. I genuinely cannot remember which way around it is all the time. And this year, as a special, they are offering to place a anti-theft curse on your conduit. If your character leans a little bit paranoid, this could be a great stop for them. The thief will suffer slight misfortunes every day. Every passing bird will absolutely shit on their head. Every pillow will be uncomfortably warm. They will laugh in situations where it's inappropriate, putting them in really awkward positions. Get people's names and they will confuse people's faces. They will always lose their keys as well as one of their shoes from each pair, and the likes. You get the idea. You need to read a book that is stolen from someone else's TBR for this readathon. Online under the hashtag, other people make videos as well, setting their TBR, so I hope you'll find something that you enjoy and just nick it from theirs and put it in yours. Which is a behavior very much fitting for this shop as well. Although I do highly not recommend you trying to steal from Shank and Shawl retailers, because that shan't end too kindly. Moving on to our favorite general goods store, the Smiths and Friends and Sons Arcane Goods and such. And since we were adventuring in Eldia all year round, and even if you didn't do the Year in Eldia reading challenge, you may have gone on some side quests and you may have learned that you actually do need some tools to help you quest more at ease. So in order to prepare for another year of adventure in Eldia, make sure you never ever run out of lavatory tissue in the middle of wilderness ever again, nor are you struck with perma-moist cursed socks for days with no drying powder. Now in store, the Trip Tracer 3000. When enabled, it will track your journey so that in case of peril, you can be found easily, and also in case you get lost, you can backtrace your steps, and it's especially useful if you're exploring some ancient ruins or dungeons. Now comes with inbuilt color-changing flashlight. So if you fancy the Trip Tracer 3000, you need to trace the last book you added to your want to read list and read that. Of course, if you added something that is physically not out in the world yet and it's an upcoming release, just keep going back and trace your way back to whatever does actually qualify and you can physically do that. Next stop for some is the Occult Premonitions. They have decided to find and commission local artists in collaboration with Wallace's Wonderful Winter Wanimals, and Occult Premonitions are bringing to you a new and exciting Winged Winter Stoat Tarot deck. Enchanted with moving illustrations, this deck is a perfect gift to a winter-loving friend or a little treat to yourself. If you do fancy this beautiful tarot deck, this is where another prompt is a repeat. Use the random tarot card generator, and then once you get a card from there, you can see the symbols on it and match at least one of those symbols to your book cover. I will link the generator down below, but I have a tarot card deck here. So just as an example, I'll just take a random card from this. And so we have a horse, for example, so that would suit. We have grass, we have a man, that one's also a shield. So any of these symbols then on your book would count as fulfilling this prompt. Let's just get like another random one. This one looks like it has a desert, a purse, a woman, a fence there in the background. You get it. I hope you get it. The very last one with a reading prompt is, of course, our new shop called Owlcat Craft Cafe. If you need to stock up on your crafting supplies, look no further. Although, to be honest, if you do want your crafting supplies without any nibble marks or tears, you may want to try another district, but no other crafting shop will fill you with such cuteness surges. Fill up your ink pots, get your funky yarn, handcrafted needles, paintbrushes, hooks and easels, locally searched and enhanced paints, and more. Once you're done filling up your wicker basket with crafty goods, sit down and enjoy a cup of homebrew coffee or fresh herbal tea whilst our owl cats try and steal back whatever you just paid for. If you do want to visit this very jolly, very cute, a little bit hazardous shop that always smells like the most amazing, calming scents like lavender and chamomile, and it's also just a little bit warmer than any other shops due to the fact that owl cats do really prefer to be toasty. So if you do want to, you know, defrost your fingers and whatnot, peruse around. They also sell some local artists, prints and works, which is also quite fun if you want to decorate your workbooks or whatnot. But your prompt is to listen to an audiobook while you craft something. That could be knitting, crocheting, stitching, puzzling, painting, doodling, DIYing, anything in general. And if you're not able to do that or don't want to do that, you can also change it for any type of craft in the title. That can count as like a needle, or I think there actually are books with like knitting and stuff like that, especially cozy type of books in the title. So it's totally up to you. If you want to swap to that, you can, but like a primary one is to listen to an audiobook while you do something crafty. And if you do that, please tag me on Instagram because I would love to see that. And we come to our very last stop, which does not have a reading prompt per se. It does have a prompt and you can still tick it if you do it on your loyalty card. But of course, it's our beloved Rich Pigeon Pub. And I am so delighted to say that I am hoping to manage. Every time we announce something, it's always like last minute and I never do it in time for the announcement, but so far I've always done it for when it matters. So hopefully we keep up with that. Hopefully having an ASMR room, we're exploring our pigeon pub and have an ASMR room upcoming for it. I am very excited for it because who does not love a magical tavern type of setup? So I'm really hopeful you will enjoy that. And so I'm gonna try and do a little bit more focus on the pub this time around as well, whilst we do the stuff that we do. The Rich Pigeon Pub is where you come in for a break from harsh winds and chilly weather, hang out with fellow friends and find new ones, share mulled wine or ale of your picking. make sure and see if you can spot the pigeon spirit. The pigeon spirit is how the pub came with its name. The spirit actually still lingers and joins in sometimes, and the spirit is actually from the forest in the novice path. And if you do want to partake in the pub activities, the prompt is to reach out to someone that you maybe not spoken to in a while, or just feel like you miss them, and check in to see that they are doing okay during the festive season. I think the festive season can be quite stressful, even if your family life is uncomplicated, but let's be honest, is that even a thing? And I feel like the festive season can just be quite a harsh and fairly lonely time for a lot of us, and it's not something that people really talk about. So I think just a little check-in with some friends, or a friend or a family member, or anyone you think you would like to talk to, that is your prompt. To just check in with someone during this festive season. And that actually completes the prompts and is almost totally dark. We love that. I think the very last thing I want to say is that because I'm putting a little bit more focus on the pigeon pub, I thought it would be fun to do a little pub quiz night. So obviously expect some live stream sessions for us to read together. Maybe I'll find something to crochet again to give away, because you guys seem to enjoy that part of it as well. So of course there's gonna be sprints to do that, but I want to also make one sprint to have like a pub quiz of sorts. It might just be like for personal points, because I was kind of thinking of how to make it work, and all of the ways just seem very convoluted. So in order to like not stress this out, it might just be a personal thing. But I hope that it will still be very, very fun, and at the very least we'll enjoy each other's company. So I want to say that is all for this. I'm very excited to get into a festive spirit myself. Also just really excited to have this as an annual thing now and keep adding to the shops. Maybe some will close down later down the line to give space for others, and then reappear and swap around. Just very excited, and thank you so much if you are joining me. I will see you at the Old Favour Pass. I hope you have a wonderful time until then. Bye!